Hello and welcome to FridAI with me, Billy McLaughlin. Today we have a lot to cover once again and some really great news for our accountancy space as well. So what would an AI session be without starting with OpenAI, who were the creators of ChatGPT? So this week they've announced a memory function where you can ask ChatGPT to forget intentionally or to remember specific information that you input it. So this is great when you're trying to create almost a digital assistant or something like that within ChatGPT. They've also created Sora, which is a video creation tool. It is unbelievable in terms of the sheer quality of what it's creating. And although not necessarily applicable to the accountancy space, it really does show the pace of change. Some sad news, the pace of change does mean there has been some huge job cuts. I think since the start of the year, Microsoft, PayPal, eBay, amongst some of the huge tech giants, have announced 34,000 job cuts. So it really does show that as a result of AI, we are seeing a big shift. In the accountancy space, however, there has been a huge announcement from Xbert. Now, I mentioned these last week, but I've had a little bit of an insight into the product since then, and it is really, really fantastic. So if you haven't seen, Tom Herbert did a fantastic post on this last week on Accounting Web. I will tag that below. But basically, Xbert is a practice management tool which also incorporates checks, so a little bit like Dex Precision, for example, but a mix of practice management. And a really great use case that I've seen for this is that accountants could potentially set up alerts so that if a director withdraws some money, it would notify them that that transaction has happened within their bookkeeping software and allow the client manager to then get in touch with that client, for example, and say maybe they want to do some tax planning about salary versus dividend. So just as one example, what I would say is go check out Xbert because there are some fantastic use cases for it. Also within practice, if you are using Slack, they've announced some really, really big changes to do with summarizing channels. So they're using artificial intelligence to summarize anything that you maybe need to. For example, if a team member's been off sick or on holiday, they can summarize any conversation that's been happening within that channel and also ask questions in real language. So, for example, tell me all the new clients that have been discussed this week or something along those lines, and Slack will be able to respond. We're seeing a lot of this with some of the meeting recording software, so Otter and the likes. They're also doing very similar things. It's really good to see that these have been incorporated into areas that we use within practice, and hopefully we'll see a lot of changes coming in to some of the software. As I said, Xbert is geared towards accountants, so it's really great to see that AI is developing in that space. If you have clients that potentially use Airbnb to rent out properties, Airbnb are also using artificial intelligence now. They want to create the ultimate concierge, they're calling it. And the idea is that they would effectively know exactly what the clients want. So when you log into Airbnb, you would be able to see all the properties that generally would normally fit your requirements. Now, they're doing this by using a software they acquired in November, which was by the co-founder of Siri. So obviously great backing, a lot of knowledge there. But if we kind of bring this back to our industry, I find it super interesting because it's just going in the direction of what clients are going to want. Clients are going to assume that we know what they want, assume we know their buying habits and what they're doing, and all this technology is leading towards that way. But at the same time, if I did go onto Airbnb, for example, I may want something different if I went on a city break to if I went out into the countryside or abroad on a beach. So I think this is really where the human element is super important. AI can predict these things, but we still need to be asking questions to our clients. The final thing just to tell you all as well is Jason Staats, the absolute Don. For those of you that don't know him, you need to check him out. He does a daily podcast, a daily YouTube video, and also he does YouTubes throughout the month. He's fantastic. He's going to be at the Digital Accountancy Show. And on his recent newsletter, he talked about a really great GPT, which is called Number Finder. What that does is it would pair numbers within an Excel spreadsheet. So for all of the times we have, say, for example, a deposit made and we don't know which invoices make up that deposit, he's got some really great statistics on there that say if there's just 32 invoices, there's like 5 quintillion different combinations that could make that up. The idea is that this spreadsheet, this GPT, will use a spreadsheet and match them for you. So definitely check that out too. I will put a link to the GPT in the notes below and also to Jason's YouTube channel because, as I said, he's absolutely unbelievable and definitely a hero of mine in the space and where I get a lot of my knowledge. So do take a look. That's everything from me today. Happy Friday, and enjoy your weekend.